Hello, everyone. Welcome to the employee management section of the Zenoti Owner Manager Guide. Today, we will be walking you through how to manage your employees, including how to create a profile. So in Zenoti, employee profiles can be created either from scratch or by cloning an existing employee profile. So the very first thing you want to do is make sure that you're at the correct SPA level, and in this case, we're in Lacey, and then select the employee from the main menu. Click Employees from the Employee Dashboard, and the Manage Employee window will open. If cloning, find the employee profile that you want to clone by either sorting the column headers or use the search bar and start typing the employee name. If you're adding an employee from scratch, click Add. If you look across the top, you'll see 8 different categories that we will be filling out: general, employee roles, services, products, memberships, packages, commissions, and a catalog. The first tab is the General tab. We will enter their personal information. So you want to start by entering the employee code, and this can be a designation of your choice, either first name or first and last name, or an abbreviated email address. Enter their first name and their last name, and the name that you would like to appear in their appointment emails and their messages. Enter their email address, and anything that you see with a red asterisk beside it indicates that it is a mandatory field, so it must be completed before you move on to the next screen. You can select their gender, and then when you have time, you can go back and fill in all the other information that would be non-essential. But for now, we're going to move down to the login information. Select their username, which is generally their email address, and then their password. I would suggest that when you first set up their password, you use welcome@123 with a capital W. Confirm password obviously should be the same thing. Welcome@123 with a capital W. And then under job information, you want to select. So generally this is going to be, if it is a service provider, it will be the tier that you are assigning to this employee. In this case, we're going to create an MT, so we'll say Tier 1 MT. And then if you do have an hourly rate or an overtime rate, so for example, if you are also paying your MT commissions plus salary, then you would enter that information here. If they are strictly commission, you can skip this step. Notice that there are other fields on this page as well. You can set up their maximum work hours, their target revenue, vacation and special leave days, etc. You also want to indicate their start date and their end date would be filled in if they terminate with you. The 10-year start date is a little bit different in the sense that some people make the start date and the 10-year date the same day. However, you do have the option, you can make the 10-year date a little bit different in the sense that maybe your service provider or your SPA associate goes through training first, and then once they are on the books, then that would be their 10-year start date. So you have that option. And then under preferences, by default, there are a few things that are checked, and you can leave that as is. And then if you would like to also have them receive daily reports or register closures in the case of a manager, you can always select these options as well. You do have the option to enter their social security number. It should be the last 4 digits of their social. And then also their license information is here as well. And I believe a field has also now been added to your live site for insurance information, their number as well. And then you can enter the date of the dates of their expiration, their start date and their expiration for their license and insurance. And then at the very bottom, it says send confirmation email or text to guests for appointments scheduled for this employee. That should be checked if they are a service provider. And then select next. That will take you to employee roles. In this case, this is a map to the employee role for your particular center. In this case, we're already at the Lacey Center. And the role just by default shows as an accountant. The role has not been added. It's just listed alphabetically. In the drop-down menu, role. So if this is a service provider, then you would select service provider and add the role. Under the defined roles, you can see that by default, the admin staff is listed as well as the service provider. That means that their role permissions for access to Zenoti will be that as a service provider and in this case, an administrative staff. If you would like to remove the admin staff, feel free to do that by just simply clicking beside Lacey and delete. You can add additional roles. So for example, sometimes service providers have dual roles, just like other SAs or managers within the organization. And from the drop-down list, you can select those additional roles. Click Next. In this section, this is where we're going to define the services. So at the very top, it says select the service assignment checkbox for this employee to perform a service or all services in the category or the subcategory. When not selected, the employee cannot perform the service. So on the left-hand side, you can see you're in the current center once again, and then the service, the add-on, and then once again, if it has a drop-down arrow, each of those sections can be expanded. To enter their commission, you simply go to the commission, click on the commission, and enter the commission for that particular service. If you've chosen a template that has currently been created in the Zenoti system, the commissions should automatically generate on this page. However, you do have the ability to edit the commissions. If you look to the right, you will see an Edit button. And if you click on Edit, it says these deductions are defined in the Deductions tab at the service level settings. Use this dialog to configure exceptions for this employee. So if you do have a service provider that receives a separate deduction, generally it would be a higher deduction, you can enter that amount on this particular screen. When you are finished, click Close. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. And when you are happy with your commissions, select Next. The next section is products. And so we're once again in the current center, and you can see the product has an arrow beside it. To expand that, just click on the arrow itself, and then once again, you can see all products. If your system is set for a default of 10%, then that will show here, which is the case for most estheticians. However, you can come into this screen and select individual commissions for each of your estheticians or service providers. Once that is complete, click Next. And we will be doing the same thing for memberships. So if you would like to set a commission of $10 for your spa associates to receive commission on their membership sales, this is the screen that you would do this. If it's a service provider, we have a code that we use upon ring out. That code is called MEMT, which will pay your service provider generally $5 for selling a membership. Click Next. And the same thing will apply to your packages. So your packages would generally be anything that is in a series. That would include a lip or a chin hair removal. It might include peels or a microderm series. In order to enable this feature, you would have to go to Name and type in a keyword. So in this case, we'll type in lip. And then you can select all the packages that you would like to assign a commission to the service provider. In this case, it would be for an esthetician. Once you've completed that, click Next. And the very last step is in order to show this service provider online, we can upload an image from here if you prefer, or you can go to Show in the Web Store and mobile app and make sure that that box is selected, and then the display name, which is the way that you would like them to appear online. So this is for your online booking tool. So you can enter their name, and if you prefer, you can enter a description about them. For example, you might say, Michelle performs oncology massage. And you can also list, more personal description here as well. But for these purposes, we'll leave it at that and click Finish. So now when you look back, you can see that Michelle is listed here. So if you click on Michelle's name, it will take you right back to her profile. If cloning an employee, find the employee profile you want to clone by either sorting the column headers or use the search bar and start typing the employee's name. Once you locate the employee, click on the blue text, which should be the first name. The employee profile window will open. Click on Clone. Clone the employee by doing the following. Enter the first name of your new employee, the last name, the email address, the mobile phone number, gender, and username. Select the configurations to be copied from the other employee. If most of the fields are the same for the two employees, check the box to be copied. After the new employee record is created, changes can be made to the record on the appropriate tab and saved. Once completed, you can also send a reset password here as well, which I would strongly suggest that you do, because remember, once we create the password, everyone's password is welcome at 123. And then select OK. Employee details have been cloned successfully to the new employee. Click OK. The text message credits are not available now, but should be in the future. And so if you go back to employee, and select employees, you should be able to see Kelly Jones. And Kelly Jones' profile will be exactly the same as Michelle's. This comes in handy if you have service providers that perform the same services and have the same tiers. Zenoti University has a single sign-on, which means that Zenoti users can access Zenoti University via a single sign-on directly from their Zenoti dashboard. Select My Dashboard from the drop-down after clicking the arrow. This is the stage site. However, on your live site, you will see Zenoti University right under Payroll. Once selected, Zenoti University will launch. To create an employee schedule, Zenoti allows you to set up employee schedules for all employees from a single screen. First, ensure that you're at the SPA level. Click Schedule from the Employee Dashboard. Zenoti can create employee schedules by either center, role or job classifications, job commission level, or employee. Select from filters to view the list of employees. To make the search easier, choose by either role, job, or the employee to narrow down the list. In this example, we have chosen Michelle Smith. The day view defines the schedule for each day of the week. Select the start and end time for the employee using Shift 1 drop-downs. When you are finished, click Save. By default, the status reads Not Set. When you set the day schedule for an employee, the schedule status automatically changes to Working. The fastest way to set up standard employee schedules for each day of the week is to start from the Week view. Click on the Week tab, select the employee, click on Day to add hours. The drop-down box will appear. Click Working. Schedule page will appear. From the drop-down, select the hours. Repeat the same steps for the rest of the days in the work week. Once you are finished, click Save. Once the schedule is set for an entire week, copy the weekly schedule forward. Check the employee box to copy the schedule forward. Click Copy. Zenoti has the functionality to copy the employee schedule forward by the number of weeks or by selecting the weeks. Click Copy Schedule Forward and enter the number of weeks, and click Copy. Once the schedule is copied, click OK. Zenoti can modify or update an employee's clock in and clock out time from the employee module. Ensure you are at the correct SPA level. Select Employee from the main menu and click Check-in. Select the date to add or make changes to the clock in and clock out times. Click Go. Click Edit to adjust an employee's clock in or clock out time. Adjust the employee clock in or out. Click Add and close. To add attendance, select the date to add attendance. Click Add Attendance to add an employee's work hours. Select the employee to add attendance and click OK. Enter the employee's check-in and check-out times and click OK.
To manage a guest profile, in particular to manage duplicates, guest profiles can be managed from the loyalty screen or from the appointment book. From the loyalty screen, ensure you are at the correct SPA level. Select Loyalty from the main menu. Under Guest, click Manage Duplicates. And select the search field. Click Search. A list will appear with possible duplicate profiles. Check the box next to each profile to be merged. Click Merge. Successfully merged user records. Click OK, and you're finished. When searching for a guest in the appointment book, multiple guest records may appear. It is possible to merge guests together while booking an appointment. Select a guest record with correct personal information from the list of suggestions and click on Book. In the Guest Appointment Information box, click Merge. Search for similar client profiles by entering information in the data field. Search on last name, phone number, or email. Once you've clicked Search, any duplicates will pop up. Select the box next to the profile to be merged. Click Next. Review Merge Summary and click Confirm and Merge. merge guests successfully and click OK. To clean up invalid guest data, Zenoti can pre-check for invalid mobile numbers and email addresses and list them on this page for you to take further action. This means that even when you view this page for the first time, you will see a list of invalid client data records because Zenoti has performed the following checks. Check for invalid mobile phone numbers. Zenoti checks for invalid mobile numbers based on criteria such as consecutive numbers in the mobile number field and unreachable phone numbers and lists them here for you to take further action. Check for invalid email addresses. Zenoti checks for invalid email addresses based on criteria such as standard patterns for fake email addresses and bounced emails and lists them here for you to take further action. To perform these steps, from the Zenoti home screen, click the Loyalty tab. Select Clean Up Invalid Accounts. Use the search box to find invalid accounts by entering the client email or phone number. Click Add. A list of possible invalid accounts will appear. Check the box next to each invalid profile. To add loyalty points to a member's profile, access the client profile. Click on the Points tab. Click Add to add loyalty points to the client profile. Click Add Points. To run your employee payroll report, from the Zenoti home screen, click Employee. Expand on Payroll Reports menu and select Payroll Reports. From the filters, select the payroll period. You can check the Split Commission by Item Type box to view a breakdown of commission types. Click Refresh, and the payroll report will generate. You can export the payroll report by clicking the Excel icon in the upper right-hand corner. Creating jobs for payroll tiers. Employees perform various tasks in the day-to-day functioning of a business in exchange for commission or salary. These tasks, grouped by similarity of function, are called jobs in Zenoti. You can create various jobs in Zenoti to assign different commissions to employees. To create a job, from the main menu, click Employees. The Manage Employee window opens. Expand Employees from the left panel and click Jobs. Click Add. The Create New Job window opens. Enter general information as per the following guidelines. Enter the job's name, for example, if you wanted to create a tier. Under Job Code, create a unique identifier for the job. Ensure you have a logic behind the way you give a code. The description is optional, and you do not need to enter the discount limit source or discount limit. Under the color code, if you use this option, please ensure you code all the estheticians as one color and all the massage therapists as another, so the payment tiers cannot be identified based on color coding. Click Finish. Reopen the newly created job and click the Services tab. To enter commissions, expand the menus so you can see the individual services. In the name, click on the arrow to expand the categories. To add the commissions, enter the percent, which must be entered with a percentage sign, or the dollar amount for the tier. For dollar amount, you just need to input a number. Do not add a dollar sign. When completed, scroll to the bottom and click Save. To adjust the commission tiers, if you're paying your service providers by tiers, follow the steps to update them as needed. From the Employee Dashboard, go to Other Reports and Performance. Use the Employee Sales Metrics report to view the number of requests. The report can be downloaded to Excel by clicking on the Excel icon in the top right-hand side of the report. To adjust the tier level, you can navigate to the employee profile from the report above by clicking on the employee name. From the General tab, you can adjust the employee job as needed.